Okay, so I'm going to change these bullets. For some reason they don't fit. They're something like 4.4 mil as opposed to 4.8 mil. Anyway, they don't make a good connection, so I'm going to change the bullets. Now, above all, I am not an electrical person, so take what I'm going to tell you now with a bit of a pinch of salt, and some of it may well be wrong. I'm hoping it's not, but just be aware, I'm not an electrician. So first of all, I'm going to cut the old bullets off, or new bullets, with a good pair of wire cutters. All right, and then I'm going to use my first tool. Actually, if that's long enough, I might have to open the wire. I'll have to open the wire up a bit first, I think. The wire's already cut, so it's stripping okay. I can run a knife down it to open it up, but obviously you run the risk of then cutting the wire. So if I can avoid running a knife down to open the cable up, I do. Now it gives us a bit of wire to work with. Right, okay, then I've got my first special tool. So this is the wire stripping tool. Okay, which is brilliant when it works. I'm hoping it does work, because sometimes it's getting a bit old now, it doesn't. So what you do is you put the wire in the top there, and the jaws come down. Just try and make sure you can see this, and they like grip the wire. Then the two blades, these two blades here, then strip the wire. So let's see if it's actually working. Put the wire in, get enough wire that we want stripped. There we go. Nice, easy strip wire. The only trouble with these is you have to get, mine's getting a bit old now, it's working well on these. And yeah, I think that's okay. And there's a tension button here to adjust the tension, because sometimes if the wire's too strong, it will just slip rather than strip the wire. Okay, but that's great. And then we come on to the main tool, which is this ratchet crimping tool. Now, my friend Jeff, sorry Jeff, forgotten your surname for a minute there. I'll remember it in a minute. Anyway, he put me onto this, and this is a ratchet crimping tool. So you put the crimp in, and it's on a ratchet, right? You do the ratchet up, and you cannot undo it. It will not undo until you've reached maximum compression, and then it will undo again. So it ratchets up. There we go. Sorry, Jeff's still trying to remember your name, it won't come to me. Right, so then I'm going to put the bullets on, which are crimp bullets. They are not solder bullets. Now, various people tell me, some people say it's good to use solder, other people say don't use solder because it creates a weak point. Well, being a non-electrical person, I've never ever successfully been able to solder anything in my life. So I use crimp. And what I'm doing is I'm just using these pair of pliers to start the crimp off and just making sure, there we go, that it's gripping the wire a bit. Yeah, just a little bit. And I don't know if you can see that. So the collar is like holding the outer cable, and then the next crimp along will be, it isn't yet, but it will be crushing the actual, onto the actual wires. So then I get my ratchet crimp, and I'm going to select my size, which I think is going to be this first one. And I make sure I've got this in the right place, because being the ratchet, if you get this in the wrong place, whoops, there we go, buggered it straight away. The trouble with it being a ratchet is if you get it wrong, you get it half closed, well, you're snookered. because the only thing you can do is to carry it. You can't release that ratchet until it's fully crimped. I'll try again. Get the bullet in the right place on the crimp. On the bullet, there we go. And then keep going. This is hard until we've got full compression. And there, hopefully, that's not bad. That's not my best crimp ever, but you can see that this is closed fully on the. And the thing to judge is whether you can pull the damn thing off. I'm not going to pull it as really hard, but because that isn't a brilliant crimp, to be honest, but it won't come off. So let's try again with the next one. Put it in. I start the crimp off because these bullets, they've got quite a wide sort of collar on them or whatever that, you know. So I don't. If I started it in the thing, I don't know it do it. I don't think it'll do it. So I have to like start closing the sides. There we go. Let's see if I can just get it to hold that wire a bit more. Yeah, just so it's holding it in place. There we go. Get my crimp out. Make sure the bullet is in exactly the right place before I start closing. It's not exactly where I want it, but there we go. Yeah, so it's like probably a slightly better crimp, that one. Will focus. Focus, please. I don't know where the focus is. Focus, please. Oh, it's not bad anyway. Now I'll do my third and final crimp. Actually, I'm thinking that it might, you know, I don't have to crimp this, you know, with the pliers first. But the only problem I think I've got with that is that if you don't crimp it, there's nothing holding that wire in the right position. Shit. Sorry, that's a technical term. I think I'll have to say goodbye to this. Sorry, there's nothing holding the wire in the right position in the bullet. And when you crimp, you know, the wire slides too much one way or the other. No, it's okay. Right, I just thought. Okay, so I've got that in the right position. Put it in. Make sure the bullet is exactly where I want it. And off we go. Yeah, it's not bad. So we've got 3 half decent crimps. The main thing is, if you can pull them, you know, you should never be able to pull them off. And you know, the bullet connectors, you know, the test is put it in the bullet connector and then pull the connector. If the bullet comes off rather than, you know, the connector opening, then it's not good enough. Okay, Jeff Mitchell, is it? Yeah. So it's Jeff Mitchell who told me about these. Okay, and I've had various ones of like iterations of this in the past, thinking I had the right ones, but they're not, because they weren't ratchet. And it's the ratchet that makes all the difference. I'm afraid I can't tell you where I got them from, because I can't remember, but they are, it's a ratchet crimp rather than like an ordinary crimp which doesn't ratchet. Because I used to think they look a bit like this, the teeth, the ones I had. No, this must be it, but they're not. They're not hard. You know, you need a proper ratchet crimp, and then a pair of these are worth their weight in gold for anything. You know, for domestic wire stripping, fantastic. Okay, let's plug this in now and see what we got.